Hello everybody, and welcome to our coverage of the next 2 episodes of Ninjago Skybound. Episode 59, I think, is On a Wish and a Prayer, and episode 60, My Dinner with Nadahkan. Hopefully I got those numbers correct.
You're good.
Awesome. Alright, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. I'm Messina.
I'm LJ.
I'm Takumanuba.
And I'm Purple Dragon.
And as per usual, here's our nice little disclaimer at the start. These are episode reviews. They're not us streaming the episodes. If you want to watch the episode, you can click the link in the description below, and or also wait and watch them on TV to support LEGO and support Ninjago, which you should totally do anyway whenever they air at some point in the future that we don't actually know right now. So with that being said, it's going to be another double coverage, and as always, we're going to give you a quick little recap of the episodes, and then we're going to launch into a discussion about what we liked and what we didn't in them. Without further ado, LJ, go ahead and kick us off.
And I won't screw it up this time.
Spoiler alert, it's not a con. Anyway, go on.
So, Nodi can't. He's roaming around. He's doing his... Oh, okay. So anyway, Jay's showing the other ninja around his new crib. You know, saying, oh, I saved up for it, this is a new place, and it's really not. And they have the lamp, so they're looking at the lamp, and they're trying to find out where they need to go. Cole brings Jay aside, and he's like, dude, I know you, this is not your place, you didn't save up nothing. And Jay's like, yeah, I know, and he spills the beans. Well, more earthquakes ensue, and it turns out that via the sword, what is it, the Jin Blade?
Yeah.
Okay,
sort of souls.
Jin Blade,
whatever.
Yeah, sucking up the souls. Nadahkan is tearing huge chunks out of the ground. And I believe we already know why. It's the huge, island conglomerate.
Mm-hmm.
So they're flying around, they're doing their thing, and they're, ripping chunks out of this, that, and the other thing. All the meanwhile, the ninja, now knowing where they need to go, purchase an actual boat. Like a real, kind of like a tiny yacht. Because they don't have the Destiny's Bounty, because Nadahkan does.
Yep.
So they go, they head off, and all of a sudden, boom, storm, super scary. And Jay has to be a lightning rod because Zane is attracting all the lightning because he's metallic. Well, Zane is asked to go under the dock. He goes in, and he's all alone, and who shows up? None other than Yes He Can. So they start having a chess match because I would do that. They're doing this thing. It's super psychological. It's really cool.
It's a metaphor.
Say what?
The chess game's a metaphor.
Yes, well, it's still good. And they're doing this whole thing, and it looks like Zane is really outsmarting probably Can, but unfortunately, nope, that's not the case. And Zane wishes it all away conveniently and dies. Well, not really. You get my point.
Zane dies, not really. The story of Ninjago thus far.
Been there, done that, got the t-shirt.
Ah, yeah. So, they get shipwrecked on, I guess, the island they needed to be on. And they go off and they do their own thing. And they're going to find the spider. Spoiler, it's a giant spider they need to find.
It's lost.
Yeah, it's lost, the better version. And all of a sudden it comes to light. Cole rats Jay out like a punk. And so everyone's giving Jay a hard time. He has to go in and get the venom, which could kill a man with a drop, so on and so forth. Well, all of a sudden, the pirates attack! And so there's this huge battle. It's crazy. It's nuts. It's bananas. And meanwhile, all this is going on. Jay's trying to get the venom. His woman-wooing book gets stabbed by the fangs of the spider. He gets the venom. He gets outside. Antics are ensuing. Cats and dogs living together. It is just a catastrophe. So all that happens, and as they're running away from the spider, bridge breaks. Jay gets captured, but they have the poison. And that's the end of the episode.
Amazing. All right.
So, my dinner with, possibly. So, helicopter starts out. Helicopter's looking around on the new Ninjago, but they're attacked, so that doesn't last very long. Helicopter's only point in any visual media is to fall and die.
Pretty much.
Meanwhile, Jay has been captured. He has a plot twist, a Deus Ex stone attached to his hip. his ankle. That's what. And he's basically now the new scrubber. He's just going around. He's cleaning the ship and being abused by the crew. All this time, Nadahkan is trying to get him to say the last wish, but nope, it's not having it. So they're doing this whole thing. He's being basically. What's the term for a dude on the ship that does nothing but clean? Does anyone know?
Swabby?
Yeah, swabby. There we go. Yeah, so that's essentially what it is.
Okay.
So that's about that. That's what he does, and that's basically what he does throughout the entire episode. Meanwhile, Lloyd is doing his thing on the island. He's trying to find basically the mainland. He can't. So what do? They start to try and build a boat. Meanwhile, back on the ship, Jay antics. He manages to write a letter to his friends. He puts it in a bottle because it's pirates. Why not? Tries to make an escape. Chucks it in the ocean, but gets captured once again.
GG.
So later on, yeah, later on, Jay has dinner with Nadahkan. Hey, sounds familiar. And they have a conversation, and Jay tries to zap him, but he's too slow. Haha, Kopaka. And that's about it. But he learns something new. He learns that if Nadahkan marries Nia, then he can have infinite wishes for himself. And Jay comes to the realization, hey, did you never love that other gal, did ya? He's like, nope. So that happens. Meanwhile, the other three making their boat. Unfortunately, it gets destroyed because they're suckers. And this is basically like a reimagining of Tremors in Lego. Back on the ship later that night, Jay talks to Flintlock. Later that day, actually. Jay talks to Flintlock, the guy with the mustache, saying, hey, this is the scoop. Flintlock's like, yeah, whatever, dude. Later that night, Flintlock's like, yeah, whatever, dude. Hey, by the way, here's a key. We're right behind you, dude. We're going to make like this huge fight against Nadahkan, even though I've known him for years. Let's do this. Jay breaks out, and instead of jumping off the ship like a normal, rational, sane person, he instead decides to go and try and get the sword, and gets captured again. So, what a sucker.
Pretty much.
And back on the island, they get the ship, they get the boat, they send the boat out. Boat sucks because they're all suckers, but Deus Ex Ronin saves them in a helicopter. Police commissioner forgives them. We're all happy. They found Jay's message, and they go to save him, I guess.
Ronin, man. Ronin
again. Oh, by the way, this episode, they had like a fight that basically like tossed Jay around. Like it's like Fight Club, but you get to talk about it this time. And that's how he got the eye patch. No permanent damage to him whatsoever.
It's actually not. I got the eye patch. He got the eye patch because, like, before Flintlock started trolling him by wanting him to steal the sword, Clancy gave him the eye patch and was like, "Here, you may as well look like one of us."
Well, yeah, because of the fight.
No.
He had a bum eye.
Yeah, because of the fight.
Whatever. So anyway.
Yeah, he even talked like he got his teeth knocked out. Anyway, so that's the episode. What do you guys think?
Well, I'll let you guys go first, because I got a lot to say about these episodes. What do you guys think of both of those? We'll start off with 59.
I hate
Liked it.
spiders.
Why you gotta be like that, Purple? Why?
Spiders are gross.
But Lost is awesome. Lost deserves respect.
Sure, keep telling yourself that.
Oh. Okay.
I think my favorite part of the first episode, On a Wish and a Prayer, was the part where, like, Cole and Nia were mocking Jay's, like, freaking out thing. Because they said how much they missed it and all that.
Well, technically that was on the second episode.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Oh.
Good job.
Jay had to be gone for them to miss him.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Is that all?
What else
Is that all you
can
have to
say?
say? What is this?
Is that it? You done,
Do you-
Purple?
Do you want me to go and give you guys a framework? Okay, fine. Fine. So 59
Yeah,
I
Sean,
thought was
it's
very
done.
interesting. Wait, what?
Show them how it's done, Missa.
Okay, so 59 was very interesting, although there were a couple of things that I stuck out to me as being a little strange. Like, they bothered to... They're doing this whole angle where, like, oh, Cole and Jay are, like, best friends, and then, like, they have this heartfelt conversation, and, like, Jay confides his secret to him, and he's like, you can't tell anybody for these reasons, and then, like, 10 minutes later, like, literally 10 minutes later, he's trying to, like, get him to not tell the truth, and Cole just rats him out to everybody in a very public fashion. Very embarrassing.
Such a punk.
Which causes them to have to deal with, like, that amidst their current problem. And I'm just like, Cole, I get the value of honesty or whatever, but this couldn't have waited until, like, after you got the venom and, like, after your mission was done. You could have chosen any other time to have this conversation. Why did it have to be, like, right at that moment? Except, I guess, for the fact that Zane got taken. Maybe he was like, oh, hey, we gotta do this because, this is all Cole's fault because we didn't warn him, even though it was explicitly said as Zane was walking down he shouldn't be alone, and just nobody went down there to join him because they're all scrubs and they're incompetent at what they do. Speaking of incompetence, Zane, they had this really cool chess match, and he got inevitably wrecked, as we all figured he would eventually, but I felt it was more than a little bit contrived that his third wish had to be word for word the exact same thing that both Klaus and Kai already said. I'm like, couldn't he have wished for literally anything else? Like, how about you re-upload Pixel to my hard drive? Or bring Pixel back? Or like anything else other than the one thing that he will twist on you. Like, I understand the value of trying to outsmart him or whatever, but I would think it would be better to take that risk than to basically just give up. Because I don't think getting sucked into the sword gave Pixel back. Just the thought. So that bit kind of served to lessen the dramatic tension of that scene. But other than that, it was a very good scene. Other than the ending. Quite enjoyed it. And honestly, that was pretty much all I have to say about 59. The fight was cool. But it was pretty self-explanatory. And, it was a pretty straightforward episode. Takuma, what'd you think?
I mean, I liked it. I can't think of a whole lot of anything particular or interesting to say about it.
Yeah.
If anything, I think Zane did get duped.
He definitely did.
Because he's like, you will understand the intention behind all my words. Well, clearly that's not what happened.
Yep. Quite clearly.
Zane had a solid plan of attack and just got... Nah, I just feel that bit was poorly written.
It was. At least the ending bit was. I liked how they were building it up, and then when it got down to the end, it was the payoff was not satisfactory. But okay, Aljo,
Otherwise,
what'd you
I thought
think?
it was good. Not a whole lot to complain about.
Yeah, Aljo, what'd you think of episode 59?
59. Let me see here.
59.
I liked it. I really liked the scene with Zane up until the very end. I liked how Jay had quite a lot to do this episode. The lightning rod and getting the spider venom. That was cool. I liked the, I guess, kind of foreshadowed fight between big bulky Bertha and then Nia. That
Her
looks
name
like
is
it's gonna be a
Dog
lot of
Shank.
fun. What? That's her name?
Yeah, that is.
Dog Shank. Really?
Really?
How did
Woof.
I miss that?
Woof woof.
Anyway, Catblade and Nia. So that's gonna be fun.
Catblade, you're a terrible person.
Overall, fun episode. I like the end where they tricked him with the poison. That was fun, but it was all right. It was good. I liked it.
Purple, did we jog any thoughts of yours before we move on to episode 60?
Not really. I mean, it was a good episode, other than like the giant spider, but it wasn't too like memorable, I guess.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Episode 60 has a lot more meat to it, so like, where do we even begin with episode 60? A lot of stuff happened here. We had general antics with the ninja on the island that ensued to a very small degree. But the real interesting part was with Nadahkan and Jay, because we got a large amount of exposition, I suppose, on what Nadahkan's actual goal is. He's rebuilding his homeland because if he gets married on Jin land, he will somehow get infinite wishes. I guess it has something to do with inheriting the role of the king or whatever, since his father's dead at this point. But it's a very interesting angle. And it gives a little bit more sense to it, because up till now his plan has been kind of shrouded in mystery, intentionally so. They've just had him rebuilding his homeland for what I assumed were just, like, sentimental reasons. Like, we must have Ninjago's grand return. But now there's another layer to this. And it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out in the end. The only part that really stuck out to me as being a little strange was Jay and the eye patch. Mainly because I don't know what I was expecting for that. I never really gave it a lot of thought when I saw that in the in his future last season. I just assumed maybe he would become a pirate at some point, or realize he was related to pirates, or have some sort of pirate relevancy to him as a character. But no, he just got kidnapped by them, so he has an eye patch. That's
Yep.
more than a little.
Just because the person's wearing an eye patch doesn't instantly make them a pirate.
I know,
There
but
are
that
a
was
number
the
of
implication.
reasons. Have you never seen someone actually wearing an eye patch before, without it being part of like a costume or something?
Nick Fury, and that's about it.
I said
Oh,
without it
Var,
being part of a
yes.
costume.
Var.
Var.
And Var's a pirate. Like,
Yeah,
takes
of
media
course.
illegally from the internet all the time.
Yeah, but no, it's
I'm so done.
I guess you could have written it that he just lost an eye or whatever, but I don't know, my first inclination was pirate. Because in a world filled with, like, robots and nindroids, I'm sure they could have, like, given him a robot eye if he actually lost an eye. So, like, that
Let me
was
honest.
my
I'm
thought
happy he
process.
didn't
Well-
lose an eye.
The eye patch isn't necessarily because you have a bad eye.
Oh, well. Actually, in this case, it kind of technically would be, because, like,
Yeah, in
His
this
eye did-
case, but
his eye did
not
get messed
everyone
up.
who wore an eye patch wore an eye patch because they had a bad eye.
why do you
Fair.
wear an eye patch?
Because they didn't have electric lights on ships, so when you went below deck, it was dark. If you kept one eye constantly in the dark behind an eye patch, you could switch to the other eye and you'll be able to see better because that one's already adjusted to seeing in the dark.
Quite interesting. Did not actually know that, seeing as I've never been on a pirate ship.
Oh yeah, and clearly I have.
Clearly. Yeah, you're the real
Yeah,
pirate
of
here.
course you have.
Thank you for that bit of insight, Takuma. That was very appreciated. But no, I don't know what kind of preconceived notion I had, but it felt a little odd to me. It's not a bad thing. It's not objectively bad or anything in development. It's a little strange. As was Jay's general mannerisms in regards to his plan. Like you mentioned, LJ, it's like he was free. He has a dragon. I'm sure he could have like flown away and outran their slow vessel that not Destiny's Bounty, Misfortune's Keep. I'm sure he could outrun that on his dragon and just make
Yeah.
it back to his friends. But then again, I suppose we don't know how far away they currently are from the island.
Didn't he have the special thing on him that kept him from using his powers?
Good
I
point.
don't remember.
I don't remember
They-
either.
Well, I remember they took it off like during Nadahkan's dinner. But
True, but
Oh.
yeah,
It's not like
that's
he
a
was
good
in a
point.
good position to get away at that point, though.
Yeah, it's a good point. The dinner was separate from when Flintlock was like, hey, we're going to mutiny, so that's a good point. He may have still had that on. Yeah, it was a good episode. I quite enjoyed it. But again, another part that stuck out to me as being a little weird was Ronan and the police commissioner and the
Yeah.
two detectives flying in on their helicopter to save them. That felt a little bit heavy-handed that it was that particular group of people. And, why were they in a helicopter? Why weren't they in, Rex or something? If they were going to involve Ronan, Ronan's just, best friends with the police commissioner going to save the ninja, I suppose, now.
Well, I mean,
To
maybe
make up for his mistakes.
maybe Ronan doesn't want them on his helicopter, checking out all of his stuff and his technology.
He let them use it once before.
Did he? I don't remember
Yeah.
that.
It was when they had to get out from that, it was in the episode where they saw their future. because he had betrayed them prior, and he let them use Rex to escape from that cave before
No,
it collapsed.
not the
on
ninja, but
itself.
like the commissioner and Dareth.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense, I suppose. The call cut out for a brief bit, but I can assume I know what you said. The police commissioner, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who knows if there's anything incriminating on there.
Makes a very good point. And, I like Ronan, so I'm glad if they're going to keep him around. I would have been more disappointed if they had kept his role in the season to that, they had done prior. So I like that he's still around doing things. Hopefully we'll see him have increased prominence. He's a cool character. I like him, even if his intentions or motivations are sometimes more than a little ambiguous. But honestly, that's all from me. I liked the episode. What did you guys think of episode 60?
One thing I want to go back to is Nadahkan's original plan about how he doesn't actually love Nia, and I'd just like to say that I'm actually really happy about that, because it's not like some really sudden romance plot. It's just, oh, I need her to get all this power, but I don't really care afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, I can understand that. The last thing we need for Nia is more heavy-handed romance plots. That's for sure. But what did you guys think of episode 60? Any other comments?
It was pretty good. But other than that,
Wow.
no.
Slow clap. Everybody, applause for Purple
was
Dragon over
pretty
here.
good.
Great critique. I'm sure people will be very happy to hear these thoughts of yours.
What about
Thank
you,
you.
Takuma? Did you think it was pretty okay?
I liked it. I mean, I kind of already said what I thought of it.
I think it was pretty acceptable. Pretty decent. Pretty 6 out of 10.
It was more worth my time than you are.
Well, thank you for that added elaboration.
That's not saying much.
Oh. Well, you gotta be like that, Takuma. What I ever do to you.
We don't have time for that. Anyway, as a whole, I just like the fact that as the series goes on, the ninja aren't all just staying exactly the same. We're seeing the tolls that everything has taken on them. I mean, Zane's now a titanium ninja. Cole is a ghost. Jay's got the eye patch thing going on. You see that it's actually impacting them.
Kai's still a moron seasons later.
Yeah, Kai, nothing's really changed with Kai, but who
Yeah.
knows what it will be down the road. I mean, it's not like we want all these big changes to take, to hit right at the same time.
Yeah.
That wouldn't even make sense.
It is a good
They don't
point,
feel
though.
like
A
they
lot
were
of the
just doing it to
characters
do
have
it.
grown in some way over the seasons. Kai's the only one that has not gotten his due justice yet, but I have hope for him in the future. Everybody else has gone through some kind of metamorphosis or change. So, hi, it's cool. Aljo, what'd you think?
I liked it. I liked episode 60. It was still a lot of fun. I feel a little bit bad for Jay, obviously, but I do also think that he should have just run when he had the chance instead of bothering with the sword. He could have come back for that at any time. So, I also am a little concerned that they're going to do that thing.
Well, I mean,
where,
if he knows his friends are in it, wouldn't you want to try and get the sword?
I mean,
Nah.
I also know that I have other friends that I can team up with, and as a united whole, go get the sword.
Yeah, but he thought it was going to be just a grab and go.
But it wasn't.
Well, he's a dummy.
But he didn't know that.
Jay shouldn't have trusted Flintlock.
Yeah, he really should have. But the thing with that is, I feel like they are setting that up for, Flintlock is going to have to stage a mutiny against, possibly, in order to, be relevant, I guess. And
Cool.
Jay is kind of, prefacing that a little bit.
I hope that doesn't
main-
come true, because I like the pirate crew.
Yeah, Pirate Crew is a lot of fun. I think they're going to keep the crew. They're just going to exclude, maybe not. So, one other thing I didn't like about this episode is the end. Cole should be dead right now. Okay? Cole is not alive. Because water can hurt him, and they put the raft into the water, and then the tsunami, and then all that happened. Why didn't that kill him? It's impossible for him to have not gotten a single drop. And if he got a single drop, well, is he tolerant to a single drop? Is he tolerant to 2 drops? Maybe is he unaffected by mist? What? What are the limits here?
The logistics of Cole being a ghost is the worst part of the entire series.
It's just
At this juncture.
it's so weird.
It raises so many stupid questions that really are not worth thinking about, and yet you're presented with them in situations like this. It's a strange thing.
But other than that, it's a fun episode. I enjoyed it.
I fail to see what you're talking about.
What do you mean?
You're saying Cole should be dead.
He should
So when Nia called on the tsunami, the only thing that prevented Cole from getting wet was apparently that ragtag boat that they put together.
It's a raft.
Ragtag boat.
Their ragtag raft. And it immediately started to fall apart when they were on open water. You're telling me not a single drop of water got through that raft and hit Cole?
I mean, sure, logically it shouldn't, but
Logically.
it didn't.
Exactly.
It did. It's an interesting situation.
Yeah. But that's the scoop. I did enjoy it. It's a fun episode. Poor Jay,
Yeah.
etc.
Poor Jay, indeed. Alrighty. Well, I suppose that about wraps up our thoughts on episodes 59 and episode 60 of Ninjago Skybound. As per usual, whenever episodes air, we're going to be doing them in batches of 2. Do we know how many episodes this season's going to have?
10.
Okay.
I think there's 4 more episodes.
Wow. That's crazy to me.
Yep. Total of 10 episodes.
Feels like it barely started.
It's because
Oh,
we're
well.
doing it in groups.
Yeah. Oh well, we shall, either way, we will continue to talk about them and review them as they come out. Until then, thank you very much for watching. If you feel like checking out all of our content 1 week early on Vessel, check us out at vessel.com/the TTV channel. And if you'd like to continue the discussion about Ninjago Skybound or Ninjago in general, feel free to check out our message boards at board.ttvpodcast.com. And, until next time, I'm Messina.
I'm LJ.
It's Kumanuva.
And I'm Purple Dragon.
Farewell, everybody.